frequency you maintain when the world is broadcasting static. We moving from the hustle to the sovereignty, from the daily grind to the generational legacy. It's a higher level. I used to count the minutes just to make the digits grow. Royal D, now I'm counting every breath and the seeds I gotta sow. Urban landscape shifting, but I'm steady on the block. Not the one with the sirens, but the one where time forgot. Steady. I traded all the static for the sound that heals the soul. 528 hertz making every piece a whole. So majestic. They still running in the maze, looking for a way to climb. I already built the ladder out of focus and out of time. You see the jewelry? Nah, that's just a reflection of the light. I'm focused on the equity and keeping the vision tight. Real talk, spoken word flow, but the impact is heavy as a stone. The true king is the one who can rule when he's all alone. No more looking at the clock, no more waiting on the man. I'm the architect of the legacy, the master of the plan. It's the frequency of the crown. Yeah, we level in the field, authentic in the spirit. Watch the empire reveal. It's coming, yeah. From the pavement to the palace, keeping the frequency clear. Yeah, yeah. We don't vibrate with the doubt, and we never move in fear. They want the monkey stick rhythm, they want the shallow and the loud, but I'm moving through the frequency that's hidden in the cloud. So my catalog is property, it's a sovereign asset class. I'm building for the children, something that's actually gonna last. I don't need the validation from a system built on lies. I see the truth in the mirror, I see the fire in my eyes. Every bar is a brick, every verse is a foundation. I'm speaking to the royalty that's hidden in the nation. We ain't just rapping, man, we performing audits on the soul, taking back the ownership and taking back the control. If you feeling the weight, then you know that you're the one. The work is never finished, but the victory's already won. Yeah, keep the vibe high, keep the intention pure and true. The crown isn't given, it's the frequency inside of you. It's the frequency of the crown. Yeah, we level in the field, authentic, authentic in the spirit. Watch the empire reveal. We here, from the pavement to the palace, keeping the frequency clear. Yeah, we don't vibrate with the doubt. Yeah, and we never move in fear. It's about the alignment. When the words you speak match the world you see. Real talk. You can't fake the frequency of a man who's already free. So majestic. Ground yourself in the truth. 43 years of wisdom, and I'm just getting my stride. I got the family in the front and the partner by my side. Looking at the blueprint, seeing the 78%. I'm the living proof of every prayer and every dollar spent. It was worth it. Mr. Old School flavor with a futuristic touch. I don't need to say a lot, cause the silence says so much. Boss, we moving past the struggle, moving into the abundance, ignoring all the noise and the corporate redundance. So majestic. The banner flying high above the street, heavy heart in the collective, moving to the same beat, one pulse. So calibrate your mind and let the healing take hold. The story of the king is finally being told. Authentic, grounded, urban, yeah, that's the way we move in the frequency of the crown. We got nothing left to prove. It's the frequency of the crown. Yeah, we level in the field, authentic in the spirit. Watch the empire reveal. It's time. Yeah. From the pavement to the palace, keeping the frequency clear. Yeah, we don't vibrate with the doubt, and we never move in fear. Real talk. Yeah. Stay tuned to the frequency. Don't let the noise pull you crown is heavy, but the weight is what keeps you grounded. So majestic. Royalty. Yeah. Look. It's funny how the same hands that clap for you in the light are the same ones typing paragraphs in the dark. I got the screenshots, I got the receipts of the secret conversations. But you can't destabilize a man who's already grounded in his own truth. You wanted me to see it? Well, I see it clear now. Real talk, yeah. I opened up the message and I saw the thread run deep. Royal D. While I was grinding for the vision, they was talking in their sleep. It's messy. A digital betrayal in the black and yellow font, listing out the weakness and the things they think I want. Yeah, they talk about the family like they holding up the wall, but they're the first ones digging trenches waiting for the fall. So majestic. I see the contradictions and I see the two-faced grin, trying to audit my life while they're drowning in their sin. You thought the forward button was gonna break my stride, but you just handed me the map to where the snakes like to hide. I'm reading every line, but I'm hearing only noise. The static of the envious, the rattle and the toys. The fall with the truth, yeah, it's coming in loud, clearing out the static in the low vibration cloud. I see it all, a unique kind of clarity that the backbiting sent. Watching how the energy of the loyal is spent. They bring up the history and they bring up the past, yeah, hoping that the trauma is a shadow that'll last. So majestic. But I'm performing forensic audits on the loyalty of the kin, finding where the fake ends and where the real can begin. It's time. You talking about my problems like you're sitting on a throne, but your house is made of glass and you're throwing every stone, shattering. I see the concerned tone masking all the hate, trying to micromanage every move in every state. I ain't responding to the thread, I'm just cutting off the line, protecting all the frequency that's strictly mine. Real talk. If you gotta talk about me when the king isn't in the room, then you're just planting weeds where I'm trying to make it bloom. But forward the truth, yeah, it's coming in loud, clearing out the static in the low vibration cloud. Moving a different kind of story than the one the system tells, hearing all the music in the urban chapel bells. They wanted to see me react, so majestic. They wanted to see the old me jump back into the pit. Real talk. But the sovereign man doesn't fight for a seat at a table of snakes. Yeah. I'm building a new table in a different zip code. 43 years in the circle getting tight. I'm moving through the day and I'm dominating through the night. Staying focused. Keep the group chats and the secret kind of talk while I'm documenting the exit on this urban kind of walk. The so majestic banner is the only thing I hold. Writing out a story that was never really told. I'm a landlord of my peace, I'm an owner of my head. I'm leaving every word that the distance ever said. The photo was a favor, it was a spiritual gift. Watching how the frequency begins to make the shift. Royalty. No more dirty laundry on the digital line. I'm just securing the legacy that's destined to be mine. The forward the truth, yeah, it's coming in loud, clearing out the static in the low vibration cloud. Time, a unique kind of victory, a different kind of grace, seeing all the power in an urban kind of space. Yeah, so majestic. Thanks for the update. It's always good to know exactly where the boundary needs to be built. You keep the drama, I'll keep the assets. Real talk. Stay sovereign. Look, I don't know whose toes I stepped on to make them this active. Royalty. If feels like there's a ghost in the machine. Someone pulling strings just to see the kite fall. Real talk. But you can't sabotage a foundation built on this much grit. Check the ledger, I'm still standing. So majestic, so majestic. I wake up to a new hurdle every single morning now. They're messing with the commas, trying to slow the earning down. I see the fingerprints on the files in the office space. Someone's playing games, trying to put me in a lower place. But my vision's clear, I see the traps before they even set. Every closed door is just a move I haven't mastered yet. They want the bank account empty and the spirit broken low, but I'm a street poet. I find the seeds and make them grow. So majestic. The workplace politics feeling like a battlefield today. Co-workers whispering while they try to take my light away. Yeah, it's economic warfare, they're aiming at my family's plate. But I've been hungry before, you're about 20 years too late. Royalty, go ahead and delete the files, try to stain my reputation. I'm the architect of my own path, I built the whole foundation. One door closes, I'll just build a hallway to the next. I'm a king in this concrete jungle, read the hidden text. Real talk. You can't lock the sky or tell the sun it isn't allowed to rise. So majestic. I see the sabotage coming, I see the envy in your eyes. Royalty. Lock the promotion, try to freeze every single dime I make. But you can't stop a river, no matter how many dams you break. They calling meetings behind my back, trying to cut the cord, but I brought my own power, I don't need to join the board. Financial freedom is a mindset, not just what's in the vault. If the engine stalls out, I know it wasn't my own fault. It's a systematic squeeze, trying to drain the life from the plan, but they forget I'm the type of person who can stand as a man. Real talk. I've seen the emails, I felt the cold shoulder in the hall. You're praying for the winter just to see the leaves all fall. So much air, but I'm evergreen, I'm rooted deep within the struggle soil. You could turn the heat up, I'm just waiting for the water to boil. Sabotage is a weak man's weapon, a coward's little tool. While you're playing checkers, I'm rewriting every single rule. My economics are eternal, my values in the soul. You can't take the credit when I'm the one who reached the goal. Try to hold me down, put a ceiling on my highest dreams, but I'm breaking through the drywall in the heavy wooden beams. Real talk. Sabotage is loud, but my silence is a lot more powerful. So much hate trying to starve a garden, while I'm making sure it's flowerful. Royalty, cut the paycheck, try to mess with how the business flows. But the more you try to bury me, the more the legacy grows. Yeah. It's funny how they hate to see a person find their own way. Real talk. They'd rather see you begging for a crumb than baking the whole cake. So majestic, but you can't sabotage destiny. It's written in the ink, you can't erase. I'm looking at the landscape, seeing where the minds are laid. I'm stepping over traps that the jealous hands have carefully made. Workplace sabotage, they're trying to make the data lie, but the truth is a bird that was always meant to learn to fly. You want me stressed out, looking for a way to pay the rent, but I'm invested in myself. Every single hour spent, economic warfare won't stop the heart that's beating true. I'm 1,000 steps ahead, I'm already past the view of you. So keep the petty games, keep the whispers and the fake reports. I'm building empires while you stuck playing in the lower courts. There's no way to hold me down, I'm gravity's biggest foe. I'm ascending to the top while you stay watching from below. Financial freedom is a journey, not a destination point, and I'm the one who's designated to lead and to anoint. So the sabotage failed, the mission's still on the right track. I'm moving forward now, and I'm never ever looking back. The weights are on my ankles, but I'm walking on the water now. You try to break the crown, but it's sitting on my forehead now. So much as the workplace is a stage, and I'm the one who wrote the play. You can try to block the path, but I'm gonna find a better way. sabotage what you didn't create. I'm still here, still rising. So majestic, yeah. Look, they love to talk about networking and connections, but they don't see the silent economy of the favor. The jump start in the rain, the shared tools, the watch over the porch. We're auditing the social capital that doesn't show up on a bank statement. The invisible safety net we wove with our own hands. Real talk, yeah. Yeah. I see the neighbor with the wrench and the hood popped high, underneath the heavy gray of a humid urban sky. You got it. No invoice coming, just a nod and a reach out. Killing all the worry and the mechanical doubt. They wanna monetize the way we help a brother move, putting every interaction in the corporate groove. But the bartering, the talent is a sovereign kind of trade, built on the foundations of the promises we made. I see the elders on the stoop, the original CCTV boss, keeping every child in the neighborhood free. Watching out, it ain't about the service or the subscription or the fee. It's about the collective and the personhood of we. It's a different kind of currency that's moving in the dark, keeping every fire and every individual spark. We here. We here. A unique kind of kinship that the system can't record. Watching how the energy begins to be restored. Let's talk about the cosign and the power of the word. The most valuable thing that a man has ever heard. So majestic. No credit score needed when the character is gold. Standing on the stories that the community told. I'm auditing the loyalty and I'm auditing the trust. Royal, finding all the iron that is resistant to the rust. They want us isolated in the digital alone, but we building up a frequency that's strictly our own. I'm sharing all the wisdom and I'm sharing all the ride. Opening the gateway to the abundance inside. It ain't about the transaction or the profit or the deal. Real talk about the authenticity of the way we actually feel. It's a different kind of currency that's moving in the dark, keeping every fire and every individual spark. We moving. We moving. A different kind of story than the one the system tells. Hearing all the music in the urban chapel bells. Reciprocity. You can't break a chain where every link is a friend. Real talk. Finding the frequency where the favors never end. Yeah. Making sure the brotherhood is a promise we defend. So keep your social media and your verified kind of blue. I'm moving with the people who are verified and true. They ain't connected. 43 years of the wisdom in the handshake, finding all the power in the bonds we didn't break. But so majestic, Dana is a signal of the king. So majestic that the spirit of the family can win. I'm a brother to the struggle, I'm a witness to the grace, leaving all the lonely kind of logic in this place. The blueprint is the fellowship and the ink is in the care. Walking through the city and finding support everywhere. The exit is a gateway to a communal kind of state, seeing all the glory in the collaborative faith. It's a different kind of currency that's moving in the dark, keeping every fire and every individual spark. It's time, a unique kind of victory, a different kind of grace, seeing all the power in an urban kind of space. Yeah. says, I got you. Don't let them turn your community into a marketplace. Circle is the shield. Real talk, stay connected. People spend their whole lives looking at the mirror, trying to fix what they see on the outside. But the real work is happening in the places you can't touch. You gotta align the internal before the external can ever shine. Royal D. Yeah. I'm sitting in the silence of a Sunday afternoon, peaceful, watching how the darkness leaves the corners of the room. Yeah, the world is chasing status in the flicker of a name, but I'm looking for the fire that doesn't need a flame. Real they talk about the hustle like it's only in the hands. Move the core is the captain of the way a person stands. So much street poet reading all the secrets in the air. Inhale, finding all the answers in the moment of a prayer. Connect. You can build a palace out of marble and a stone, but the king is still a pauper if he's hollow in the bone. Royal. I'm basic by appearance, but I'm heavy in the soul, taking all the broken parts and making them a whole. Straight up. Workplace is a memory that I'm leaving far behind. Don't we? Focused on the frequency that's moving in the mind. Different kind of riches that a person's gonna find. Gold when they leave the vanity and nonsense all behind. So my vision is a mountain that is living in the chest. Real talk. Putting all the ego and the worry to the rest. Royal D can have the glitter and the temporary shine. I'm busy looking inward at the power that is mine. Yeah, I walk along the river where the water's moving slow, calm, learning how to let the heavy burdens finally go. So my car is in the driveway, it's a shiny piece of glass, but I'm looking at the beauty that is destined not to pass. The geometry of nature is a language of its own. Real talk, written in the patterns of the seeds that have been sown. I'm a power hitter swinging for the logic and the truth. I've been studying the mystery since the days of early youth. They think I'm disconnected or I've fallen off the pace, but I'm running in a much more different kind of race, where the prizes and the trophy over ribbon for the chest. It's the peace of mind that comes when you finally rest with the person in the mirror and the truth in the dark. I'm finding all the magic in the little spark. So making light up a city or a gritty urban block glow without ever looking at the ticking of the clock. Yeah, silence is a teacher and the lesson is the self. Royal. I'm taking all the wisdom from the bottom of the shelf. Real talk. Keep the flashy labels and the vanity and pride, and be focused on the legacy that's growing deep inside. So majestic. Growth isn't always about adding things on. Sometimes it's about stripping away everything that isn't you, until only the truth is left standing. So let them keep the drama and the static of the streets. That I'm keeping all the energy authentic and extra sweet. So my J's the kind of brother with a high content mind, leaving all the petty and the jealous far behind. Real talk, the numeric sequence is a map for the soul, direction me to victory and reaching for the goal. Of a life that is balanced and a life that is free, open. Finally the person that I'm intended now to be. No more seeking validation from a person in the suit. No, I'm busy in the garden just protecting every root. Yeah, street poet is speaking, let the words hit the flow. Listen, I'm unlocking the lock and I'm opening the door. So much brand new perspective in the brand new way of life. Fresh, cutting through the static in the heavy urban strife. Clean, royalty is solid, I'm a mountain in the mist. Unshaken off the items on a sacred little list. The sun is coming up and the vision's looking clear. Real talk, I'm letting go of vanity and letting go of fear. So my world is looking outward while I'm looking in the deep search. I'm waking shout to be heard when your frequency is right. So majestic, stay basic, stay grounded, stay royal, royal D, stay in tone, yeah, royal D, royal D, yeah. Asphalt tongue. Yeah. Asphalt tongue. A concrete sermon preached by Siren Whale. Another brother falling. Shadow playing on the dusty trail. Crumbling pillars of a promise built on blood and stolen gold. Narrative hijack. Young mind shackled. Stories never told. I see the ghost of progress, wringing hands in silent plea, while corporate prophets whisper scripture, blinded eyes to see the true cost of convenience, the price of pacified despair, a nation's soul in escrow, breathing poison, stagnant air. My grandma's eyes, they hold the history etched in every crease of silent battles fought for freedom, searching for a piece of dignity unclaimed, a birthright stolen in the night. Now echoing these verses, igniting sparks, a rebel light. From the broken glass of yesterday, a phoenix starts to rise. Through the systemic labyrinth, where truth and justice die. But the rhythm of the struggle, it beats within my chest, a testament to resilience, putting empires to the test. This ain't just a lament, it's a blueprint for the free, a jazz-infused rebellion for all the world to see. The digital Goliath whispers, sweet nothings in your ear, while algorithms sculpt your thinking, drowning out all fear. What's truly going down beyond the filter, curated feed. They hand you curated comfort, sowing divisions, toxic seed. I watched a child's innocence dissolve on cornerstone and curb. His future mapped by zip code, his aspirations undisturbed by any chance of upward mobility. Just a constant downward pull, another statistic manufactured, another life they deem no. But somewhere in the silence, a murmur starts to grow from forgotten corners of the concrete where dormant rivers flow. A network of resistance, hand in hand beyond the gate, reclaiming narratives, rewriting chapters, sealing freedom's fate. From the broken glass of yesterday, a phoenix starts to rise. Through the systemic labyrinth, where truth and justice dies. But the rhythm of the struggle, it beats within my chest, a testament to resilience, putting empires to the test. This ain't just a lament, it's a blueprint for the free, a jazz-infused rebellion for all the world to see. The weight of generations on these shoulders I embrace, to break the chains of ignorance and find a sacred space where self-reflection mirrors truth, no longer clouded by the haze of manufactured loyalties, lost in consumerist maze. My personal accountability to speak beyond the mic, to elevate the voiceless with every lyrical strike. This ain't just entertainment, it's a call to arms, a plea for collective consciousness, for true community. They can build their walls of profit and preach their hollow creed, but the soul of liberation plants a deeply rooted seed in the jazz-infused rhythm. It echoes through the streets, a symphony of defiance, where liberation meets. Liberation meets. and never get back. Real talk. People spend so much time chasing the next big thing that they forget to appreciate the breath they just took. So majestic. I'm sitting on a porch, watching the world rush by, and I'm perfectly fine right here. Royal D. Royal D. I see the neighbors rushing out at 7 every day, yeah, trading all their hours just to get a little pay. They're stressed about the deadlines and the status of the name, but I'm sitting in the quiet, I ain't jumping in the game. A simple cup of coffee in the morning, summer air's worth more than $1 million in a fancy swivel chair. I'm looking at the trees and I'm looking at the sky, counting all the blessings as the minutes wander by. So workplace is a furnace trying to melt the human soul, but I'm staying extra cool while I'm reaching for the goal. Of finding inner peace in the world that's extra loud. I'm perfectly content being hidden in the crowd. I don't need a headline or a trophy on the shelf. I'm finding all the victory and mastering myself. The simple things are heavy when you weigh them in the heart. I'm finishing the journey before I even start. Real talk. Silence is a melody that most people ignore. So majestic, but I'm finding all the rhythm on the wooden kitchen floor. Royal D. You can never hustle in the worry and the strife. I'm busy falling in love with a simple human life. Yeah, I remember when I thought I needed everything in sight. Boss chasing after shadows in the middle of the night. Royal D. But the more I gathered up, the less I really had. A closet full enough to make the inner person sad. So I stripped away the layers and I put them in the pile, and I traded all the glitter for a genuine little smile. Now I'm walking through the market with $1 in a dream, and things are finally starting to be exactly what they seem. A conversation with a friend on the dusty city bench is the only kind of thirst that a person cannot quench with a bottle of the bubbly or a fancy piece of glass. I'm looking for the beauty that is destined not to pass. The kids are playing tag and the sun is going down. I'm the richest person living in this gritty urban town, because I know the secret that the greedy never learn, that the fire only hurts when you're waiting for the burn. So my sunset is a painting that I didn't have to buy. Royal D. I'm finding all the answers in the middle of the side. Keep the heavy diamonds in the heavy golden chain. I'm finding all the treasure in the middle of the rain. So majestic. They call it settling when you stop the frantic race. Real talk. But I call it arriving when you finally find your place. So majestic. Contentment is the ultimate flex. So I'm keeping it authentic in the world of manufacture. Mending all the spirits that the industry is fractured. I'm a street poet standing on a solid piece of ground, finding all the wisdom in the silence and the sound of a baby's little laugh or a neighbor's friendly wave. I'm taking all these memories with me to the grave. Economic sabotage can touch your soul, it's free, because I don't own the things are owning me. I'm a basic kind of king with a basic kind of throne. I'm never really lonely when I'm sitting all alone. The car is in the driveway and the engine's turning cold. I'm telling you a story that has never been this old. It's about the peace of mind and the power of the no to the things that try to tell you where a person ought to go. I'm staying right here in the middle of the grace with a simple kind of look on a simple human face. Real talk. The world is spinning fast, but I'm moving extra slow. So majestic. Watching all the flowers in the garden start to grow. I don't need the spotlight or the flash of every light. Yeah, I'm perfectly okay in the middle of the night. the new currency. So majestic, you can keep the stress and the status. I take the quiet and the clarity. Royalty, street poet, still grounded, still basic, still king, yeah. Stay peaceful. Royalty, so majestic. Yeah. Look, the ink is never dry. They try to tell you it's a closed chapter, but we're living the sequel. It's in the fine print, it's in the code. Let's look at the architecture of the now. They won't tell you. They tell me that the struggle lived in 1965, Royal D. But I'm looking at the ways they keep the red lining alive. It's still there. The home appraisal's coming in at 20% less. Yeah, because a black family's photos are a signal of distress. They see the pictures in the banking halls. The interest rates are climbing on a whim. It's a setup, denying us the equity while the chances looking slim. Closing the door. It's the digital redlining algorithms in the code, setting up the barriers on the modern urban road. I see the gentrification moving like a silent tide. So I'm pushing out the legacy with no place to reside. Moving us out. They claim it's development, but the displacement is a fact. Yeah, stripping all the ownership right out of the pack. The wealth gap is a canyon, 8 times the median spread. Oil built on generations of the things the leaders said. Long time, it ain't an ancient ghost, it's the deed in the hand. The way they keep the people from the promise of the land. It didn't go away, it just changed the disguise. Hidden in the paperwork and the corporate lies. True story, a unique kind of pressure that the world won't admit. But we standing in the truth and we making sense of it. Let's talk about the medicine and the bias in the ward. Black men's pain is treated like it's something to ignore. They don't hear us. Statistically, we wait longer just to get a basic pill. So majestic. They think our skin is thick enough to take the chill. That's cold. The mortality for mothers is a crisis in the room. Watch the numbers. Systemic neglect from the cradle to the tomb. It's systemic. And the justice system moving with the heavy iron fist. No 5 times the incarceration on the bias list. The same crime, different time, depending on the hue of prosecutor's vision that is never really true. Same story. Cash bill keeping brothers in the cage for a month, but the wealthy walk away after pulling every stunt. They call it blind justice, but she's peeking through the fold, targeting the brave and protecting all the gold. It's a pipeline from the schoolhouse to the prison floor, locked behind the policy instead of just the door. The weight of the system is a heavy thing to bear when the rules of the game are never really fair. It's a different kind of story than the one they wanna tell, but we know the rhythm of the city very well. They say pull yourself up, but they stole the very boots. Check the history. And they wonder why the tree has some bitter tasting roots. It's the soil, so majestic. It's a structural design. It's a blueprint in the wall, designed to make the many serve the few who have it all. In the office with the degree, doing double of the work. Yeah. Watching every promotion go to every white collar jerk. I see I'm earning 80 cents for every dollar that they make. It's a rob, it's them kind of theft that is hidden in the taking my chain. The epic sounding name gets the resume ignored, while the mediocre talent gets the seat up on the board. We navigating landscapes where the traps are underfoot, watching where the seeds of the inequality are put. From the environmental toxins in the urban air we breathe, to the food deserts making all the families grieve. fire that we used to see the way. Royal breaking down the lies in the middle of the day. Sunlight, the misconception is thinking that the battle ever won. So majestic, we just started moving toward the rising of the sun. It's deeper than a feeling, it's written in the granite architecture of the bias and the structure of the pain. It's deep, a unique brand of resilience in the way we survive, keeping every spark of the legacy alive. Yeah, keep your eyes open. The data doesn't lie, even when the people do. From the clinic to the bank, it's all connected. But we're documenting it all now. The truth is our leverage. So majestic. So majestic. Royalty. It's about being honest with the starting line. I spent years paying for a roof I didn't own, watching the equity go into someone else's pocket. But that was just the classroom. Now I'm taking those lessons and building a foundation that belongs to my bloodline. So majestic. I'm looking at the lease with a heavy focus stare, knowing every payment is a breath of borrowed air. I grew up in the groves where the oranges used to be, but the land belonged to them and never belonged to me. I'm tired of the rules and the limitations set by a man in the office who ain't seen my hustle yet. I'm saving every fragment, I'm cutting every cost to make up for the generations and the time that we lost. So majestic. Making moves. I'm moving from the rental to the title in the hand, taking back the power and reclaiming all the land. It's a shift in the status, a legacy in flight, turning all the struggle into something shining bright. From the borrowed keys to the ownership gate, I'm changing up the rhythm and I'm changing up the fate. So majestic. I tell my daughter that this hallway is just a bridge to the house on the hill with the garden and the ridge. I tell my son that his father had to grind in the dark just to leave a permanent, undeniable mark. We're moving past the tenant and the occupant name to the landlord status in this generational game. I'm teaching them the value of the dirt and the stone so they never have to ask for a place to call their own. So majestic. Taught me how to survive on the crumb, but I'm looking for the loaf and the kingdom to come. No more letters in the mail about the rent going high. I'm aiming for the portion of the earth in the sky. The transition is painful, the transition is slow, but it's the only way for a family to truly grow. I'm signing for the future, I'm signing for the peace, and finding my salvation in the end of the lease. So majestic. Free at last. I'm moving from the rental to the title in the hand, taking back the power and reclaiming all the land. It's a shift in the status, a legacy in flight, turning all the struggle into something shining bright. From the borrowed keys to the ownership gate, I'm changing up the rhythm and I'm changing up the fate. So majestic. Process. From the apartment to the acres, Billsville, roots, with a worldwide vision. I'm doing this for the ones who carry my DNA. The transition is real. I built a legacy. So majestic. Real talk. They wanna play the hero in the story they're writing, but they left out the part where they held the pen to a court order. It's a different kind of weight when you're fighting for a legacy, and they're using a signature to keep the father out of the frame. I'm auditing the silence, I'm auditing the distance. Real talk. I'm looking at the calendar and the date is circling red. Royal D, thinking about the words that I'm never allowed to have said. It's heavy. Happy birthday to the seed that I'm forced to watch from afar, yeah. While they're painting me the villain and the one with the scar. A restraining order used like a weapon in a war. So majestic, closing every window and locking every single door. They call me a deadbeat while they're holding the gate. No sir, using a piece of paper just to manifest the hate. I wanted to teach them how to stand and how to move, royal, but they'd rather have a void in the point they gotta prove. It's cold. I'm the architect of the bloodline, the source of the name, but I'm sidelined by the system and the protective kind of game. Distance is a weapon, yeah, it's coming in loud. Trying to keep the sun behind the low vibration cloud. Still here, a unique kind of struggle that the paperwork sent. Watching how the energy of a father is spent. How you raise a boy to a man with the do not call, yeah, while you're building up the brick and the stay away wall. So majestic, you stopped the transmission of the wisdom and the grit. You did that hoping that the spirit of the father would eventually quit. But a king is a king even when the throne is out of sight. I'm moving through the day and I'm dominating through the night. Still focused. You can take the phone calls and you can take the time, but you can't take the DNA or the legacy that's mine. I'm auditing the absence and I'm auditing the law, boss. Finding all the fractures in the calculated flaw. If the truth was the goal, then the door would be wide. Real talk, but you're using the system just to keep the ego satisfied. The distance is a weapon, yeah, it's coming in loud. Trying to keep the sun behind the low vibration cloud. Moving, different kind of story than the one the system tells. Hearing all the music in the urban chapel bells. My father's voice is a frequency, and you think a court order can mute the vibration of the blood? Real talk. I'm waiting on the realignment, yeah. Making sure the truth is a promise that I keep. 43 years and I'm standing on the square. Royal, even when the presence isn't allowed to be there. I'm rooted. He's gonna grow up and he's gonna ask the why. And the paperwork you holding is gonna be the only lie. The so majestic banner is the signal that I send. So majestic, proving that the spirit of the family won't bend. Boss, I'm a landlord of the future, I'm a owner of the truth. I'm documenting the exile in the middle of my youth. Real talk, order was a tactic, it was a move to make me small. Roy, I'm standing even taller than the protective kind of wall. No happy birthday on the line, just a prayer in the air, yeah. Letting my son know that his father is always right there. The distance is a weapon, yeah, it's coming in loud. Trying to keep the sun behind the low vibration cloud. This time, a unique kind of victory, a different kind of grace. Seeing all the power in an urban kind of space. Yeah. it shows who's holding the locks and who's trying to build the bridge.